Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fellow YouTubers, Let's Players, how's it going? I have decided to start do another tutorial, this time on FreeMcBoot again for the PS2, and how you can load PS2 ISO games from your internal hard drive or external hard drive on the PC over Ethernet or crossover cable. I know it's a lot of jumbled jargon and stuff like that, but you're probably here because you want to learn about OPL, which is Open PS2 Loader. Okay, so this basically effectively saves your precious PS2 lasers because those take a beating when you play burned games especially, and even on normal games. So this basically makes it so that you don't have to have any disk in the drive. All you need is a copy of FreeMcBoot and a PS2, most likely Slim because you're here because there isn't a hard drive inside of your Slim, with the serial numbers 7000 or lower. You're also going to need a crossover cable, which is similar to an Ethernet cable, but isn't the same thing. So I've provided a link in the description if you don't have one, and you can get them for fairly cheap, so no worries there. Crossover cable basically allows you to connect two PCs together without a router, or in this case, a PS2 and a PC. Next, you'll need a computer with Wi-Fi and an Ethernet port. So it has to be able to have both. So if you take away the Ethernet port and don't have any internet, this won't work for you, but I have another solution that will in another video. And the final thing you would need is a USB thumb drive. And that's about it. So let's start. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is go into Partition Manager. So you can find that by going to the Start menu and then typing in here, Partition Manager. Create and format hard drive partitions. This is Windows 7, but it also works on Windows 8 and Windows 10. Click on that. And when that comes up, it should take a moment to load. Alright, so here we basically have, I've already started my PS2 drive, but I'm going to show you what to do. So this was just one drive before, and I split it into two drives. So I'm going to show you how to split this one as an example, but basically you will be using whatever internal drive you have. So right click on this and go shrink volume. And it'll take a bit. Now, for every 10,000 megabytes, that is 10 gigabytes. So, I currently have 20 gigs, or 26 gigs on this partition. So, if I want to make it 10 gigs, I'm going to make it 10,000 megabytes, and I will go shrink. And now, I have shrunk myself a third drive, and that you can rename. New simple volume. I'll go next. That's the size of it. Next, we'll name it something such as, say, R, sure, for my name. Assign a letter. Next, NTSF, or NTFS, default, new volume. Next, finish. And you will have yourselves a new volume that should show up here. Great. So that will be your volume. I've already made one, so I'm going to get rid of this. And if you do want to get rid of it, you go right click, delete volume, delete it. And it's now unallocated. You right click on the one you want to suck it back into, amalgamate it into, and you go extend volume. And you go next. This is what we're taking, the 10 gigs. And then finish. So it becomes 2 again. Alright, so basically, and this should update as well. Eventually. There we go. Alright, so it's 26. So this was the drive that I made earlier because I was troubleshooting this to figure it out. So what we're going to do next is give it permissions. So you want to right click on the drive, which I called P so I knew what I was talking about. First of all, what I did was I named it PS2 SMB. It is important to name it exactly this. So all caps PS2 SMB. So right click, go to properties, And the first thing you're going to do is go to sharing. Now, in sharing, on the sharing tab, you're going to go down to advanced sharing. So click on this. Move it over a bit. Click on advanced sharing. And make sure that you check this share this folder. So that should be should be checked. Oh my god, I can't speak. That should be checked. All right. Now you want to make sure that your name is PS2 SMB. The name of the folder that you're wanting to share, not just the drive, should also be named that. And apply. So yeah, that's the name of the sharing thing. That is what the PS2 looks for when it's going to look for this folder and communicate with it. Next, we go into permissions, and we want to give everyone full control. So click on this top one, it'll click on the other two. Click apply. I also, for good measure, add myself a guest account. I will push OK. And I'm going to give full control to this guest as well. Apply. So I have both everyone and guest on there. And then we're going to apply that. And click OK. Alright, under security, I've also done the same. I noticed, I'm not sure if this is a thing, but I've troubleshot it. And I think this is what works. I have added myself a guest here as well. So to do that, you go to Edit. And you make sure that all of these things have full control. I'm going to remove this, and then I will add it again to show you guys. So this too is guest. Push OK. Give it full control, and then apply. Access is denied. That's okay to the full system. All right, let's go back in because that kicked us out. So that is good. Guest currently has everything except special permissions. Not a problem. The last thing we are going to do in here is make ourselves a folder. Don't worry about those. Those are in because it's already done. We're going to call it PS2 SMB. I'm not sure if this is how it works or not, but we're going to right click, properties. This read only, we're going to uncheck, apply. We're going to do the same thing with the sharing. We're going to go advanced sharing, share this folder. This is already done. Permissions. We're going to give everyone full control. Add the guest again. Okay. Apply. Apply. Okay. And apply this. And we're good to go. Next thing we're going to do is, what's the best way to do this? Let's set up our games next. So basically, the reason that you came here is you wanted the games. So I've got a few ISOs here. I've got Lifeline, which is American, and Boku no Natsuyasumi, which is Japanese. Now, we are going to want to put these into the main folder, into the root. And while that's doing that, I will explain something else that is very important about the naming convention of these. These are great, but you also need to put one very important piece of information in front of it. Let's make a text document so that I can keep these recorded for you guys to see. Okay. For this to happen, you need a mounting program. So I have got Virtual Clone Drive on here, and I've got a link to it in the description. And you don't need to open it. All we need to do is go right-click and mount. Now this will give us the piece of information that nothing else can. So here we have our, we're going to go back to my computer, and then the DVD-ROM, we're going to double-click it, and you're going to look for a file that has this kind of format. It's 4 letters, underscore, 3 letters, or 3 numbers, a dot, and then 2 numbers. And we're going to write that down because we can't copy it. Write that down, SLUS 208.48. Copy that. So you can do that by right-clicking and hit copy. And then we are also going to unmount that so that we can edit the name. So right-click it, unmount. Then you'll click the name once and right-click and paste. And put a period after it. So now you will have yourself this 4 letters, underscore, 3 numbers, a dot, 3 numbers, and your lifeline. Let's also do that to this one here. So mount it. We'll go back to computer, double click, find out what it is. This one here actually has a system configuration. So if we double click this, I think it might be different than this, but I'm not sure. Nope, it's the same. SCPS 150.26. So we are going to take that and we are going to put it in the exact same format as the other one again. So don't forget, right click, unmount it, and in front of this, we are going to go right click, paste, don't forget to turn the dash into an underscore, put a period between the 50 and 26, and there you go. Those are both now readable by the OPL. So that we can leave for now. We are done with all that. Don't save. Don't save. Next, what we want to do is go to my computer, have your USB drive ready, and we are going to take this OPL 0.94 ELF, which is a nightly build, and we are going to put it, and that's in the description, so you guys can download that. We're going to put it into the Kingston USB. Alright, there it is. Awesome. Great. So that can now be ejected and stuck straight into your PS2. Eject. Goodbye, USB. You will be in our PS2 next. Last thing that we are doing here, and I'm trying to do this all in the same order, is set up the network. So basically, what you're going to do is go to the Start menu and go to Network and Sharing Center. Network and Sharing Center. The first thing we want to do is go to Change Advanced Sharing Settings and make sure that Turn on Network Discovery is clicked. Turn on File and Printer Sharing. Turn on sharing so anyone with network access can read and write files in the public folder. Use 128-bit encryption to help protect file sharing connections. So these are all in the same thing. Password protected sharing, we will turn off password protected sharing. And then that one's fine. Allow Windows to manage home group connections, recommended. So that's completely fine. I don't think there's anything different on public. Turn on network discovery, turn on file and printer sharing, turn on sharing so anyone with the network access can read it. Use 128-bit encryption, and turn off passwords. So as long as you've got them all the same for those two, it should be perfectly fine. The big part is this one here. So we're going back to the Network and Sharing Center, go to Change Adapter Settings. So this one here is my crossover wire. This is my Wi-Fi. So as long as you have one connection that's still connected over the network, you have 2 different connections, Wi-Fi and Ethernet or crossover, this is the system that you should be using. So right-click on your second connection, the one that your crossover is connected to. Right-click, go to Properties. Alright, and here you want to go to Internet Protocol version 4, TCP /IPv4. So that's the one you want. Go to Properties. It should automatically be set to obtain an IP address automatically. We're going to change it to use the following IP address. So here we have 192.168.0.2 as mine. And as soon as you hit subnet, it will fill in 255.255.255.0. Now, the way that I found this number, I'm sorry guys, this is a lot of information to take in, but you guys can do it, I know. Go to your start menu. You can either hit command prompt here if it shows up, or you type in CMD to get to your command prompt. And then where it says users and your name, you're going to go IP config. IP config. Your default gateway will be here. So look for that one. It says 192.168.0.1. The only number that's going to change for you or should change for you is if this is a 0 or 1. So if you have a 1 instead here, you're going to want to put a 1 here instead. This can still be 2 or any number up to 255, but this one here will be a 1. So if this number here is a 1, this number here also has to be a 1. This is basically, our routers are split 50-50 on whether you have a 1 or a 0 in, and because mine has a 0, this is what I have to do. That's it for here. We are done. Okay, so that's it. Oh, and also, remember that number. Write it down if you want. Whatever number you decide to have here. You can have, it's got to be 192.168.either 0 or 1, depending on your configurations. And then you can have this number anywhere up to 255. I have a 2 for convenience. So remember that number. Okay, let us go to the PlayStation side of things. Alright guys, now that you have the crossover wire connected to your laptop or PC like I just showed you into your PS2, so one end of the Ethernet into the PC, one end into the PS2, make sure to pop in your USB into one of the 2 slots on the front of the PS2. The next thing we're going to do is get OPL 9.4 on this list. Now, that doesn't come immediately. We have to go into launch elf first in order to get it from the USB onto the PS2 memory card with FreeMcBoot. Press circle, go down to mass, which is short for mass storage. Click on that. You'll see that we have OPL here. We are going to hit R1. And you see another list come up. We'll hit copy with circle, so that copies it for us. We're going to go back up with the triangle button all the way up to the memory card that has your FreeMcBoot. So mine's in my second slot, so that's why it's showing MC1. Circle that, and then you're going to go down to boot. And you are going to, I already have it here, but you're going to place it with R1 into... You're going to paste it into the memory card. So that is how you do that. And then you're going to want to reset your PS2. Alright guys, we're halfway there. So next things you want to do is you probably notice that it's not showing up on your list immediately. We actually have to make a shortcut to this OPL from the FreeMcBoot configurer. So let's do that. Go into there. And then I choose the X configuration because I like it better. So I hit X. Alright, so now we're going to go down to Configure ODSYST Options. Hit X. And then you're going to scroll over here to Configuration Item 1. You're going to go all the way until you hit a free space. For me, it's number 9. I actually put it in number 8 earlier, but it would be number 9 and hit X. Then, you're going to call it OPL, let's say 9.4, so we get it, I can't see because it's so small, 9.4. And then you go OK. And then you're going to find the path for it. So the path is currently on memory card 1. You're going to go down to boot. You're going to go down to the correct one, which is OPL 09.4, and then nightly build, and click OK. So that there will give you a path. So you want to go to return, and then return again. And now you want to save the configuration to whatever memory card you have. So it'd be this one, so I'd do that. So it's going to save it now. Alright, resetting again. Alright, so now this one that we made is there. Of course, it's the same one that I had before. They're completely the same. I'll delete one after this tutorial. Push X to load it. So this is the newest, most stable version as far as I know, which is why I'm getting you guys to install this one. Makes it easier for me to troubleshoot and everything like that when everybody's on the same OPL. Alright, so settings. I will show you my settings and everything. I haven't changed almost anything in here. Very few things. Disable debug colors on. IGR path not set. Enable write operations off. Remember last played game. You could probably turn this on or off. My select button, my OK, is circle. Check USB game fragmentation. I think you almost always want this off. USB prefix path, that's if you want to set a different path for either of these. My automatic hard drive spin down 20, I haven't changed it. These ones are, I think, set to manual as far as I know, but I've turned all of them off except for the Ethernet device start mode because that's the only one that I'm using on here. If you have a USB or hard drive plugged right into the PS2, you would probably want one of these on either on manual or on, but I have them off. So to save it, go OK. Display settings, I have theme OPL, I don't think there's anything else, nope. English, scrolling medium, I don't think there's anything different there. I haven't bothered putting on cover art on, but I know you can. Okay. This is the big one, network configurations. I have this one off. I hear that it's better than not to have it off. My IP address is static. My IP, this is for the PS2. So my IP address here only has to follow a certain rule. Basically, it will follow the rule of my gateway. So I've got the first 3 numbers are the same, 192.168.0, and then I can choose whatever number I want for that one. So if you want to do the same, great. This should be 255.255.255.0 like it was. The gateway here has to be either 192.168.1.1 or 0.1. So depending on what your gateway was, and I'll bring up a picture of that for this command prompt, your gateway is going to have to match the exact same. So make sure that you have that from the command and IP config. I haven't done anything with the DNS server, address type IP. Now this is the other important one. 192.168.0.2. This has to, again, I'm going to bring up how it should look. This should match exactly your Internet Protocol 4. So if this is a different number, you are not going to get a connection between your PS2 and crossover. So make sure it's the exact same. Ports, it's set at 455, and I'll do a bit of troubleshooting at the end of this video with the firewall, because I've modified it, but I think that's just an extra step that's not necessarily needed for ingoing and outgoing traffic. For share, this has to be PS2 SMB. You have to have this as this because this is what the PS2 is looking for when it's looking where your games are stored. User is set as guest for me, and then password is blank. And then when you're ready, you go reconnect. And it didn't take long, and it just went brrr, and it was done. That means it's okay. If you get a 300 error, something in here is wrong. Either you haven't set this one right, or this one right. Those are most likely the causes. And it could be that the sharing is not functioning on this, but that's mostly, those are most of the things. If you have issues, give me a comment and we can try and work it out together. So, the next thing that you do is go to the games list. And these are my 2 games, my Boku no Natsu Yasumi 2 and Lifeline. And you can see at the side there, they have the SCPS underscore 150 and the SLUS. If no games are showing up in this list, it either means that the folder is not shared correctly or those numbers are not correct and the PS2 can't find them. So, in order to launch a game, just push run. Now, if a game loads a white screen, it means a couple of things. It means that you either, and I'll bring up a picture of this soon, it either means that you haven't put them in the correct DVD or CD folder once OPL creates them on your PC, or you have those names wrong, which is quite a possibility. I think those are the big 2. So if you are finding early games aren't working and you're getting a white screen and your 4 letters and 3 numbers and underscore dot numbers are wrong, it could be that you need to move the game into the CD folder rather than the DVD folder. But yeah, this works amazingly. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it works out well for you, and if you have any issues, please let me know, and we will try and work them out. So give me a like if you enjoyed this, guys, and we will talk to you soon. Bye for now.